Hi friends, welcome back to Rustic and Lace DIY. Today is the Just Our Imagination Challenge and I'll let you know more about that in a few minutes. But first of all, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Brenda and this is my sweet Oliver. And if you're returning, you guys are the best. So with all that being said, let's get to crafting. Okay, DIY number 1. So I'm going to take this 14-inch wood round from Hobby Lobby and I'm going to use this square ruler to draw a line. I believe it was 5 inches from the bottom. And then I'm also going to do one about 5 inches from the top. Then I'm going to take my painter's tape that off. I'm going to paint the middle of it with Waverly chalk paint in the color Snow White. And then the ends I'm going to paint with my crimson color. I'm going to take this little gingerbread dude from 24 Hour Crafts and I'm going to take those, I think they're 1.5 inch wood letters. It may be 2. They're from Amazon. I'm going to paint them all with my Waverly chalk paint in the color Hazelnut. I just love that little man. It makes me think of Shrek, the movie. Then I took my square ruler again. I'm going to use that to make sure that my letters line up evenly. And I'm going to use my Titebond Quick and Thick Multi-Surface Glue to glue those letters all in place. I'm going to take my little gingerbread dude here. And this is a glue pen. I'm just using it as a template to make his eyes, and I'm using my pencil to draw in his face. And I like to use a pencil because in that way, if I'm messing up, I can just erase it and start over. Then once I'm happy with the way the face looks, I take my a small paintbrush, and I'm using Waverly chalk paint in the color Ink, which is black, to color his eyes or paint his eyes. I'm going to use crimson to paint in his nose, and then I'm going to use the Snow White by Waverly to paint in his mouth with a very small paintbrush. And once I have those all done, then I'm going to take my embossing tool here, and I'm going to dip it in my white paint and give him his little markings in his eyes. And then I'm going to take some puff paint and I'm just going to give him some thick lines of puff paint, icing I guess, on his head, his arms, and his legs. And if you see those little marks on the top, that's because I was going to use my paintbrush with my white paint to make some little lines, but I didn't like the way it was looking, so I took my paint marker, I made a line, a dot, a line, a dot, all the way around, and I just love it. Then I took my puff paint and I'm going to take these little clay peppermints from Amazon and add them for cheeks. And then these peppermints also came from Amazon. I'm going to glue them on for buttons. And then after that, I'm going to take my big mouth crocodile. I'm going to create some hanger holes because this wood round did not have any hanger holes. And then I'm going to use some hot glue to glue on this ribbon that Kathy Jo had sent me, but I already had a spool of this. We both bought this from Sam's Club last year. I bought like 3 or 4 big spools of gingerbread ribbon and never used them, you guys. I still have not opened them. It's like, oh my goodness, I have to quit with the ribbon. I love ribbon and I don't use it very much and I need to just quit. So once I had that glued in, I'm going to use my Titebond glue and hot glue to glue my little gingerbread guy down on the front of my sign. And I just love it because it looks like he's waving hi and next to the word welcome, you know. Anyways, after that, I'm going to take some regular twine and some baker's twine and I'm going to wrap them together, and then I'm going to put some tape on the end and thread it through the hanger holes and then tie knots on the back just to make a hanger. And then once I was done with that, I'm going to take some more of that peppermint ribbon and I make a bow. And I'm going to oh, wait, before I do that, I forgot. I took the rest of that twine that I had. I'm going to make a little like bow tie for him. And I just made a shoestring bow and glued that on his neck. Then I'm going to take some more of that peppermint ribbon and I cut 1 strip down to 12 inches, 2 strips down to 10 inches, and a strip of 8 inches. And I'm going to glue the 10 and the 12 inches together end to end, just like you see. Then I'm going to take the 2 10-inch ones and I'm going to scrunch them up in the middle. And then I'm going to take the second one, scrunch it up in the middle and lay it on top above it. And then I'm going to take the 12-inch, scrunch it up in the middle. I'm going to put that right behind both of those. And once I have them where I want them and laid out like I want them, I'm going to take a zip tie and I'm going to put it around them and I started to close it and then I remembered, oh, I got to add my tail. So I fold it in half and I'm going to thread it through behind my bow and I'm just going to thread it through that zip tie. Once I get that all through, then I'm just going to go ahead and close that zip tie. Make sure it holds everything in place. But before it gets too tight, I do move those tails down. That's a big thing you want to make sure you remember. Otherwise, it would have them be in a funny position. So then I'm going to cut off that extra. I'm going to dovetail the ends, which means you just fold in half and cut at an angle. If you don't like the dovetail, you can leave it square, or you can just angle the ends as well. I'm going to hot glue that in place, and then I'm going to take a peppermint and I'm going to hot glue that in front of that zip tie to cover it. And that's all there was for this one. I think it is so cute. I just love it. I hope you do too. Let me know in the comment box below. Okay, today is the Just Our Imagination Challenge that I host on the second Monday of every month, along with Miss Kathy Jo from Kathy Jo DIYs. And every month we have some must-use items, and then the group votes on who they thought used theirs the most creative way. And they picked Carolyn with Craft Classy, who is very talented, and she made some beautiful pieces last month out of coffee filters, a hair pick, and hairbrush. And so they picked her, and they're just amazing. So I will have links to her, the playlist, and Kathy Jo in my description box. Make sure you check them all out, and make sure you subscribe to all of them as well. And DIY number 2 is coming right up. Okay guys, so here we are once again. Our must-use items are a candle. Should be pretty easy, right? We have to use a real candle. Kathy Jo picked that. Well, that's not too hard. I picked a whisk, and I said wire whisk, but really there's wire underneath the coating here, but I picked a whisk. I think I can come up with some ideas for this whisk. Hopefully I can. But then Miss Carolyn, she decided to pick bobby pins. What do you do with bobby pins? Oh my goodness, I'm not sure. I have some ideas, but I just don't know if that's what I'm gonna do. Yeah, I'm not sure, guys. This is gonna be an interesting one. But yeah, stay tuned, and let's see what I whisk up. Okay, so I have 3 of these Nutcrackers from Hobby Lobby. I'm going to remove the swords from them, and you can use pliers to just pull out, just kind of twist and pull out that bottom piece. And then I'm just going to use my worthless little, what do they call those things? Anyways, they're worthless. I just got them because I lost my other ones. I think my other ones got thrown away, and these things are crap. But anyways, I sanded that smooth, and then I laid them out on this Dollar Tree sign. I'm going to use my pencil to trace where they're laid out, and then I'm going to use my Titebond glue to glue them all in place. And after I have them all in place, now you guys, if I were to do this over, I would have painted them first, but I knew I was going to spray paint everything. What I did there is used super glue, and then I have an accelerant that makes it stick within 10 seconds. And once you put your item on there on the super glue, spritz it real quick, and then it will set. Then I went and I spray painted it, and the next day I came through and I painted the hands. I'm going to paint some different areas on these guys. Now, I wish I would have... I probably needed to move my camera at a different angle so that you could see what I was doing because of that top piece there. I know it was really hard to see, but I just painted some different areas of the gingerbread nutcrackers. Oh my gosh, I'm having a time. And then I added some white there, but I do change that up on his chest with some puff paint. I'm going to go around the red with some white, just kind of giving it some details. Once I had all my details done, I just started adding some of my puff paint and some of these peppermints and just different areas of the nutcrackers, areas that I just thought made it look nice and a little fun and more dressed up. This is where I added the puff paint to the chest, and then I'm going to add some peppermints there. And I just kind of kept going around and adding puff paint and peppermints. I did not like the way I did the chest area and stuff, so I do change that up. and add some peppermints to the face. I just kept going around, and wherever I just thought it would look good, I added some. Then I added some rickrack to the very bottom. I thought I was recording and I wasn't, and I used hot glue for that. But since this is metal, I didn't want to use hot glue because it doesn't really work well on metal. So I'm going to take this rickrack and my Fix-All glue. I'm going to glue it all the way around. And by the way, this is one of those stove covers from Dollar Tree. I never said that at the beginning. Once I have that all done, you guys, this is a project that took me a day and a half to get done. It took me forever. I took these wire cutters, that's what they are, that are horrible, and I cut down my bobby pins. You guys, I was like, I have no clue what to do with these bobby pins. And so I thought, okay, I'm going to take this craft stick. It's one of the jumbo craft sticks. I cut 3 rectangles, and I'm going to cut my paper or whatever bobby pins. I'm going to cut them down, and I'm going to glue. Look at how much trouble my other ones would cut through those like butter, and these just, oh my goodness. I told my husband they're cheap because I can see little dashes in the blades already, and I just started using them. But anyways, I'm going to hot glue those bobby pins along the sides of my craft stick cutouts, and I want to make this kind of look like a cookie sheet, even though it's not really the color of a cookie sheet, but that's what I was going for. So I'm hot gluing and trying to get all the glue bits off, and then I'm going to paint it with Waverly chalk paint in the color Silver Lining, and I paint the bobby pins and the top and the bottom of the wood, and then I'm just going to glue those onto the bent hand of each of my nutcrackers. And then I have these little mini gingerbread people. I think I got them from Amazon. I'm going to glue them onto the pan, and then I'm going to use my puff paint. I'm just going to kind of go around the pan and around the gingerbread person just to kind of give it a frosting look. And then I got these mini little rolling pins that are adorable from Amazon. I'm going to paint the middle of them with my Waverly chalk paint in the color Hazelnut, and then I'm going to paint the ends with my Waverly chalk paint in the color Crimson. And after they're all dry, I think I'm gluing them on next. I don't know what I'm doing next. Oh my goodness. Okay, yes, I'm going to glue them on, but I glued them up too high. I should have glued them down lower. But once I did the first one, I'm like, I got to do them all the same. So I glued them a little higher than what I initially wanted to do. But that's what they look like. I finally decided, oh, why don't I lay my thing down so you guys can see it better. So then I just went ahead and used some more puff paint. I went around the base of my nutcrackers just to kind of add some more detail to it. And I'm going to also add some of those peppermints to the bottom because I got a little red paint on it and I didn't want to have to try and spray paint it again. So I glued those on with my puff paint. Then I took this napkin. I got this a couple of years ago from Walmart. It's a Pioneer Woman, and I just love the little gingerbread. I removed that recipe from it, and then I'm just going to go ahead and remove all that trim from it. And then I took my candle, and I cut out a piece to go around it. Now, I used to do this back in the 90s when I did my Stampin' Up! Stuff, and I kind of forgot how to do it, and I thought, I'm going to try that again. And I Googled it, and sure enough, one of Brandy's with the DIY Struggles video came up, and I'm like, oh, well, I'll watch Brandy's to refresh my memory. So once I had it cut to size, I covered it. I put it on my candle, and then I covered it with my parchment paper, and then you use your heat press. Now, Brandy does hers on low. I'm too impatient. I did mine on high, but I stopped it often and just kept feeling around. You'll see me feeling, making sure there's no edging coming up, because you can melt that. You melt the candle, and sometimes it will start making, I don't want to say edges, not the right word, but lumps kind of a thing. And you don't want that. And so if you feel that, you can smooth that out with your finger. But like I said, I did mine on high, but I didn't do it for very long. And then I just kept making sure, and you can tell when it starts changing because the color changes. Once I had that all on, I took one of the little girls from that napkin, because that piece didn't go all the way around. I could have done it to where it went all the way around, but then the images would have been upside down and stuff, and I didn't want to do it that way. So once I had everything on there, I'm just using my little finger cutter to cut off the excess, and there it is. It's very small for this candle holder, but That's the only size I could find at Dollar Tree, but I just love how this came out. It was a labor of love, I tell you. I hope you do too. Let me know in the comment box below.
I hope you guys are enjoying this video as well as this playlist, you guys. I know I talk about this every month, but it is a lot of fun to come up with some crazy ideas and see what we can make with them. And let me tell you, I struggled this time. I really struggled. I spent a day and a half on one project and it didn't at first have any of the must-use items. And I finally figured out how to add 2 to it. But I wasn't very creative, and I apologize because this has been a crazy month. I think I overextended myself. I had the 1st, the 4th, the 7th, and the 10th, 4 collaborations in a row, plus trying to get my Christmas decor up while my husband was home on vacation. Because our house is 24 square feet. Of course, not all of it is decorated because my mom has her room and then the guest room that's occupied right now. But it's a lot of work and I love Christmas and I put a lot of decor up. And like I said, it looks like it my house threw up Christmas. And so I have the last 2 years have taken advantage of my husband taking time off. I've actually asked him to take that time off so that he could help me, which has been great. And I appreciate it. But I have to say, I find stuff missing. And like this beginning of the year, I was like, what happened to this sign? What happened to this? I'm missing stuff. Well, my husband packed it all away, like my everyday stuff, packed it away with the fall or with Christmas or Christmas with fall. And I recently, the beginning of the month, made some more ornaments and I made the cute little gingerbread cutting board ornament and I can't find it. And I know what happened. It got put in with the fall decor because it was over. I had put it in my family room close to where I was going to be putting up my Christmas tree. And I'm sure that he grabbed it along with all the fall decor that was over there and packed it away. So I keep finding stuff that's missing and I'm like, where is it? But you know what? I truly appreciate his help, even if I come up with things that are missing. It gives me something to laugh at, right? Anyways, so it's been a crazy first of the month. I'm hoping to be able to take a little bit of a breath, but I still have videos for you. This is a crazy year for us. So we'll be through it soon, sadly, but we'll be through it soon. But anyways, I hope you're enjoying this playlist. If you are new here and you would like home decor on a budget, I would love it if you'd hit that red subscribe button before you go. Become part of our YouTube family. And then, of course, all of you guys know, make sure you give me that thumbs up, comment, like, that's liking, thumbs up. Anyways, share this video and hype. Now, I know some of you say you can't find the hype button. I hear you. Sometimes I can find it and sometimes I can't. It's still new. We're all still learning. I know maybe if you've already hyped 3 times in a week, that's why you can't find it. If you've never been able to find it, it should be over where you do the thumbs up and the thumbs down and the share the video, all that stuff. There should be a hype there. But I have to be honest, I have a hard time finding it sometimes too. So if you find it, I would appreciate it if you hype. If not, I just don't know what to say. I'm going to try and figure it out and maybe even show you guys a little video on it. But yeah, it's an elusive hype button, I swear. But anyways, we're going to quit chit-chatting and get back to the video. So with all that being said, let's continue on with the video.
Okay, it is a time for a celebration of your recreations. And look at these beautiful pieces that Kathy made. Those light up signs are so pretty. And then the hurricane lamps she did with the coffee cups and stuff, just beautiful. And then she also made this book, and I had to show you all the sides to it. It is just so pretty. Thank you so much for sharing those with us, Kathy. I really appreciate it. And then look at this. Liz made this really pretty sign. I love it. It's so simple, but it's just beautiful. And I love that she added a gingerbread person to it. Thank you, Liz, too. And then if you have something you've created that you would like me to showcase, you can send pictures to my email address, which is rusticandlacediy@gmail.com, or you can always send them to me through Instagram or Facebook Messenger. Okay, DIY number 3. So I'm going to take my whisk, and I went to go cut the tag off, and look, when I cut the tip off of my super glue, I didn't wipe off my scissors, and now they're glued shut. Oh my goodness, I gotta go get me some new ones. Anyways, and then I used this worthless wire cutter to cut off all of these wire pieces from my whisk except for one. I just left one on there, but I had to cut all of them. Look at that. That's just ridiculous. This wire is not thick. It's from Dollar Tree. It should cut right through it. Anyways, I'll quit complaining. My husband, he laughed at me when I was telling him all this. He's like, well, you could have used mine. Well, I never know where his stuff is. Anyways, I took some baker's twine and I just wrapped it around the handle of this. Not the handle, but the hanger of the handle. And then I'm going to cut a long piece of it, and I'm just going to wrap it. I'm just going to go in and out and wrap that handle. No, the hanger part of the handle. Oh my goodness, you guys, laugh at me all you want. I don't care. This has been a day. And then when I got to the end, I'm going to tie a knot through there. So I just left a loop and brought the string through that loop and pulled tightly. I think I did that twice just to make sure, but this twine knot's really easy, so I think it's good to go. Anyways, I'm going to take my regular twine and I'm going to wrap it around the handle part, the top part of the handle. Well, I think it goes around the hanger part a little bit, and then I'm just going to tie a knot, and then I'm going to just wrap. I'm just going to wrap the whole handle, and I laid down the end so that I could cover that with my wrapping, and then I'm just going to go all the way down and just wrap. This was probably the easiest part of everything that I did for this video. So once I got to the end, I did add a little bit of hot glue because it was wanting to slip off that wider area, and then I'm going to wrap it just a little bit more, and then I'm going to cut off a long tail, and I'm going to go through it, and I'm going to wrap around the wired area. And so it is all covered. Now, you guys, I had no idea. I thought about doing what I've seen other people do as far as putting, some stuff, spackling or whatever on it and putting a gingerbread person. But I thought, no, I got to do something different. So I had this in mind. Oh, my goodness. So I'm going to wrap some of that baker's twine. I figured it will match the handle, so I wrap it all the way around the whole thing here. I'm just going to add a little hot glue there and then wrap it around the wired area as well. But I couldn't think of anything, and all I could think of was a swing. So I'm like, and in fact, I wasn't even planning on doing gingerbread, and this is the whole reason why I did the nutcrackers, and this is why I did the gingerbread, because that's all I could think of. So I have this easel from Dollar Tree, and it comes with all these parts that you can put it together, but we're not going to use those parts. I'm going to take my miter shears. I'm going to take the pieces that are slanted on the ends. I'm going to cut the other end at an angle, and then I'm going to paint 3 of those pieces with my hazelnut by Waverly. Then I'm going to take my Titebond glue and the 2 pieces that are angled that do connect, and they have those holes for your screws and stuff, but I'm not going to use the screws because it just hung out and I don't want you to see that. I'm gluing them. I'm laying them on the base and I'm gluing those together, and then I laid it down. I clamped them, and then I'm going to mark where those feet go onto that base, and I'm going to use my Titebond glue to glue them in place. And I held them for probably about 5 minutes or so until that glue set, and it wouldn't stand up straight. So I thought, okay, well, let's paint the other wood piece here, and I'm going to use my Titebond glue and hot glue and glue it to the back, because I thought maybe that will help, because it's so tall it doesn't want to stand by itself. So I thought that might help. No, it did. It did? No, it doesn't. It doesn't. So I'm like, okay, let's grab the other wood piece that came with it. I marked it. I'm going to use my miter shears to cut through it, which they cut really nicely through. And then I'm going to paint that with my hazelnut as well. Use my Titebond glue and hot glue and glue that in the front, thinking, okay, this has got to work because it's a lot wider base. And it did. It worked. It was standing up. I'm like, great. So I took some baker's twine. I'm going to put some tape on the end and I'm going to string it through the 2 holes that are on the top. And then I'm just going to kind of wrap it a little bit. Not going to wrap the whole thing. I just wanted to wrap it a little bit because it will cover those holes, but also to give me a way to hang my swing. So once I got down to where I wanted to stop, I just tied a knot and then I just left the ends long. I wanted it to hang down. And then I'm going to thread those 2 pieces through my whisk, which is now my swing. And then I'm going to just tie a knot at the length that I wanted that. And I just tie a knot. So then I trim that off. Then it wouldn't stand up because I added that piece to it and it was making it unbalanced. So I took one of these long wood pieces from Dollar Tree, painted it hazelnut, and marked where I'm going to lay my swing and use my Titebond glue and hot glue and then laid that in place, and that did the trick. Then I took, these are some little ornaments from Walmart. I got them this year. I cut off the top parts of them, the hanger part. I glued one of those to the swing and then 2 of them, one on each side of the swing. And then I added some little peppermints, candy canes to the ones that are not on the swing. I covered those holes on the base with some peppermints, and then I decided to go around it with my Rick Rack, and I went around the base and the swing and went up the edge of the swing, went around the base of the whole thing, added these trees from Walmart, added a peppermint to the top of the swing, and then I went ahead and used my puff paint and these peppermints to go down the front of the swing. And I think that's all I did to it. And I don't know, you have to tell me. Oh, what am I doing? Oh, I added some peppermints to the top where those where I had to cut off the hanger part, and there it is. I don't know, you guys, I'm just like, really, a whisk for a swing? I don't know. Tell me what you think. You have to tell me. Oh, wow. Oh, well. Anyways, it is what it is. So here is your final reveal. I hope you enjoyed today. I think this is probably going to be my last gingerbread video. I might throw one in every once in a while in a video because I still have so many ideas. But anyways, make sure you guys check out Carolyn and Kathy Jo's channels and the playlist. And with all of that, you guys, I hope you have a wonderful week. I will be back again on Thursday, so I will see you then. So with all that being said, see you in the next one. Bye-bye.